Hello students, this is Professor Deepa Tangankar, Department of Commerce and Accountancy, KLS GCC Belgaum. In the previous class, we have solved some problems in terms of financial accounting wherein we were studying regarding conversion of single entry system into double entry system. Today we are again going to solve some more problem which is relating to conversion of single entry data into double entry system, where you got to prepare total debtors account and bills receivable account. So I'll just read out the question for you. Pay attention. The following particulars extracted from Mr. Santosh, who has maintained books under single entry system. Prepare total debtors account and bills receivable account. Now this is the question. Balance of total debtors as on 1/1/2019 is 12,700. Balance of total debtors as on 31st December 2019 is 15,000. Balance of bills receivable as on 1/1/2019 is 6,000 and balance of bills receivable as on 31st December 2019 is 9,000. So what is this all about? It is regarding total debtors as on 1/1 means it is opening debtors, this is closing debtors, this is opening bills receivable and closing bills receivable. Now credit sales, the amount is not been given, it means you got to find out the credit sales. Cash receivable received from debtors is 41,000. Next, bills receivable received from debtors is question mark. It means you got to find out bills receivable. Okay, you got to find out what is the amount of bills being received from debtors. Next, bills receivable dishonored is 300. Cash received against bills 16,700. Goods returned from debtors is 2,000. Discount allowed 1,300 and bad debts is 700. So this is the question. You got to prepare total debtors account and bills receivable account. Please write down the question and try to solve along with me. Okay, try to write down the question, write the entire question and let's solve together. All right. So let's begin with the question. Now, what is the first thing that has been given? Balance of total debtors as on 1/1/2019 is nothing but 12,700. This is nothing but the opening balance of debtors. So where will you take it? You will take it to the debtors account. So to balance brought down. Okay, to balance brought down, and what is the amount? The amount is 12,700. So write down the amount as 12,700. Next, balance of total debtors as on 31st December 2019 is 15,000. So this is nothing but closing debtors, total closing amount of debtors. So where will you take it? To the next line, that is in terms of by balance carried down. Okay, and what is the amount? Balance is how much? 15,000. So what is the amount? 15,000. So write the amount here as 15,000. Next, I'm just taking it to the last line because if you just make the account a little bigger one, because I need a little space, so that's how I've taken to the last line. I will adjust it accordingly the way I solve the question. Okay, so you don't do this, you just take it to the previous line. All right. Next, balance of bills receivable as on 1st Jan 2019 is 6,000. So this is nothing but opening balance of bills receivable. So where will it come? To bills receivable account. So to balance brought down. And what is the amount? What is the amount? The amount is 6,000. Okay. Next. Balance of bills receivable as on 31st December 2019 is 9,000. So this is nothing but the closing amount of bills receivable. So where will you take it? To the closing, it should be to the credit side. So by of bills receivable account. So by balance carried down, and the amount is how much? 9,000. Okay, I hope this part is clear, wherein we have taken the opening debtors, closing debtors, opening bills receivable and closing bills receivable to the respective account. Now, the next thing that we need to find out is credit sales. So, where do we record credit sales? It comes to the debit side of the debtors account. Do we have the amount of credit sales? No, we got to find it out. So, we will take this part at the end. Next, cash receivable received from debtors. So, where will this particular entry come? It comes to the credit side of the debtors account. So, by cash, and what is the amount? Amount is 41,000. So, write down the amount as 41,000. Next. Bills receivable received from debtors. Now, where will this entry come? It comes to both the accounts, that is debtors account and bills receivable account. This question, this amount has not been given. So, we will deal with this also at the end. Next, bills receivable dishonored. Now, in the previous class, we have studied, that is in case of bills receivable dishonored. Okay, what will be the entry for dishonored? I'll just pass the entry over here. If the entry is in terms of dishonored, what will be the entry? Debtors account debit, debtors account debit to bills receivable account. Okay, debtors account debit to bills receivable account when the bills are being dishonored. Okay, I am passing an entry for this. The previous one, that is bills receivable dishonored, which is 300. Okay, so what will be the entry for this? Debtors account debit to bills receivable account. Let's pass the entry debtors account. Okay, so total debtors account debit, debtors account debit to bills receivable. So to bills receivable. And what will be the entry about bills dishonored? Close the bracket, and what is the amount? 300. So write down the amount as 300. Okay. Next. Okay, now once you have passed to the debtors account, what is the next entry? Debtors account debit. Debtors account debit to bills receivable. What is the credit side? To bills receivable, that is the bills receivable account is to be credited by total debtors account or sundry debtors, anything, to debtors account. Okay, and what is the amount? How much is the amount? It is 300. Into the bracket you write down as bills dishonored. Bills dishonored. Close the bracket. Next. What is the next entry? The next entry is cash received against bills. Now cash received, so it is nothing but cash received against bills. If it was cash received against debtors, it would come over here, that is 41,000 what we have already passed. Okay, this is regarding cash received against bills. So this comes to the bills receivable account. Since it is regarding bills, so it comes to the bills receivable account by cash. And what is the amount? The amount is 16,700. So write down the amount as 16,700. Next, goods returned from debtors. So this is nothing but you are getting goods returned from debtors. You are getting the sales return. It is nothing but the sales what you have already sold, what goods you have already sold, you are getting it back. So where will it come? To the credit side of debtors account by sales returned. And what is the amount? The amount is 2,000. So write down the amount as 2,000. I hope it is clear. Next entry, discount allowed 1,300. Now where will this entry come? Discount allowed. Whom do you allow discount? To your debtors. So it comes to your debtors account by discount allowed. And what is the amount? The amount is 1,300. So write down the amount as 1,300. Next, bad debts. Where will bad debts come? Bad debts is regarding your debtors. Okay, so it comes to your debtors account. So by bad debts, and what is the amount? 700. I'm sorry. So the amount is 700. Alright. So next, is there any other entry to be passed out? No, there's no such entry wherein you need to pass the entry. So what is pending? We have taken all the other transactions. Okay, that is, we have taken the opening debtors, closing debtors, bills receivable, opening, closing both. We need to find out the credit sales. We have taken cash receivables. We need to find out bills receivable from debtors, and the other transactions are already been taken. So what we are left out is, we are supposed to pass the entry for credit sales and bills receivable received from debtors. So let's first find out bills receivable received from debtors. So firstly we need to total the debtors account. I will just erase this entry what we have already passed. Okay, we need to find out the bills receivable. We'll first tally the bills receivable account. So here, what's the total of bills receivable? I think the credit side is more. So the amount is how much? 26,000. When you total it out, that is 16,700 plus 300 plus 9,000 goes to 26,000. So write down the amount as 26,000. How much is the balance which is pending? 26,000 minus 6,000. So it goes to 20,000. Okay, and this is nothing but, what will you write in front of it? To sundry debtors. Sundry debtors. And what is the, what will you write? What is the narration for it? It is nothing but balancing figure. Balancing figure balancing figure against bills receivable. All right, close the bracket. I hope you have understood this. So where will you take this particular amount? We have written here what is the balance, 26,000, and how much is the closing balance? I mean, what is the balancing figure, which is 20,000. 26,000 minus 6,000, which gives you 20,000. So this is nothing but two sundry debtors, that is balancing figure against bills. We have understood, the question was in terms of, here we need to find out bills receivable received from debtors. We need to find out this, so which we have already found out now, that is bills received against the amount received against bills receivable. So this is to be taken to debtors account by by bills receivable and what will you write it into the in narration? Bills receivable account, you can write it as balance as per bills receivable account. That would give a complete sentence. Balance as per bills receivable account. And how much is the amount? This, that is 20,000. Okay, I'll just bold this. You need not do this, but just for your reference as to how you should know from where did you get this particular amount. That's the reason I have put it in bold. All right. Next, is there any other entry which is to be passed in case of debtors account? We can close the debtors account because we need to find out what is the amount of credit sales. All right. So let's total the debtors account. Now here, in terms of debtors account, we need to close the debtors account. Okay, so 41,000 plus 22,000 plus 1,300, 15,000, 700 and 20,000. The total goes to 80,000. Okay, 80,000. Write down the debit side also, 80,000. Okay, so what is the next thing? 80,000 minus 12,700 minus 300. What is the amount? The amount goes to 67,000. So this 67,000 is nothing but credit sales. So I'll just bold this, credit sales. In the bracket, what will you write down? What will be the narration? Balancing figure. All right, I hope you have understood how did we get the credit sales and how did we get the bills. The question was in terms of, we need to find out what cash, that is credit sales, and we need to find out bills receivable received from debtors. So how much is the bills receivable received from debtors? Is nothing but 20,000, and credit sales is how much? 67,000. All right, I hope you have understood the question. If there is any doubt, you can comment and let us know. Thank you and all the very best. Thank you.